I'm going to be hunting with my good friend Randy Phillips, who owns Archery Headquarters, which is a shop in Chandler, Arizona. He's got an awesome shop there, and what's cool about Randy is we've been hunting together for over 20 years. What was really special to me about this trip as well is I was bringing my youngest, Trent. Trent's 8 years old. He's actually been here to Arizona with me on this hunt with Randy before, and he loves the one-on-one time, so do I, and it's a special trip that we enjoy doing together. I've harvested some great Coues deer with Randy in the past. My best one was taken with my recurve. It was at another water hole on public land here in Arizona. And it was just an incredible deer. But this hunt for me, it's more about hanging out with Trent, spending time together, and just having a good time.
Not too shabby, buddy. Good shooting.
Well, like any trip, part of the fun is just getting there. And Trent was so excited to go. He had been camoing his face for 3 days before we even left on this trip.
He slept with his backpack.
Wearing camo all the time. And when I went to wake him up that morning, I had to chuckle. He had his pants on, he had his camo, he had his Easton backpack all packed up in the bed with him. He was ready to go. Well, after getting Trent up, we went down to the bunkhouse to say goodbye to my clients. I run an outfitting business and I had antelope clients in camp and I was taking off. Fortunately, I've got some great guides and I knew that they would handle things while I was gone. Well, no trip's complete without stopping at a few roadside stands. And of course, as we were coming out here, we saw plenty of those.
It's not really a road trip unless you stop at some cool roadside stands.
We had to stop and get some snacks. We also stopped by and I got him a little mood ring. Those were big when I was a kid. They change colors. I still don't know how they do that. Kind of cool. He was excited with that. And then we got some stuff for Mom as well.
All right, so we'll get this for Mom. You carry this.
Well, we had no sooner gotten off and I see a big sign, fry bread.
Okay, we saw another sign that said fry bread. And if you've never had yummy fry bread, it is good. And that is some fresh fry bread right there. Yummy. But I'm sure it's super healthy.
Well, I figured we'd get to Arizona eventually. Well, we pulled into Archery Headquarters, saw my buddy Randy, talked to his crew, and then of course I had to get walked around and see what was new. I used to manage an archery shop, so it's really a lot of fun for me seeing what Randy's doing. He's kind of cutting edge on everything he's doing. So if he's got it in his shop, I know it's probably a new or exciting product. He's also doing some cool stuff with just inviting people to shoot archery, to enjoy our sport. Well, everywhere we go, Trent is excited to take his weapons as well. So on this one, he had his Crossman air rifle. He also had his longbow with him, and he had to practice. So when we went out, he was instantly in the shop with his bow, and he's flinging some arrows at the targets right there at Archery Headquarters.
Ho, ho, ho! Nice shooting, buddy. I got my mirror step we're gonna set up. Once we get out there, we're gonna brush it in. Check out Trent's pack. He's got his Crossman, so in case a coyote comes into the water hole, he is excited. He's on that.
Well, Randy loaned us his Polaris Ranger, and holy smokes did we take it through some rough country. I felt bad because I'm trying to take it easy, and Randy's just right up the hill.
And what's cool is public land. But it's definitely rough getting in here.
Say that again.
Randy takes us to the spot. I pop up the Ameristep blind. We start brushing it in. Randy wishes us luck and takes off. Well, Trent is so excited to be there, but almost immediately he falls dead asleep. But when he wakes up, he decides it's time to camo our faces up. So he paints himself and then he turns and says, "Dad, are you ready? It's my job to paint you up." That's the kind of thing that makes this hunt special. Well, at about noon, a Coues Deer doe showed up. Now, I have to point out that I think it's pronounced Coues Deer, but everybody pretty much calls it Coues Deer. So that's why I'm referring to it. So in case somebody's ready to send me an email, he doesn't know what they're called. I know it's called cows, I think is how it's pronounced, but everybody calls it Coues. That's what I'm going with. Since only bucks are legal, I couldn't legally shoot a doe, or I'll tell you, I'd have been pretty tempted to try and take that first one that showed up. Well, I'm excited. I'm thinking things are gonna heat up and we're gonna have some more action. Well, all of a sudden we start hearing thunder and this huge black thunder cloud starts rolling in closer and closer. Well, rain was coming and we decided to get the heck out of Dodge before the lightning started hitting the mountain. We got back to the house and the lightning and the rain started coming.
Well, it's a good thing we made it back. Came back here and showered up. And sure enough, here comes the rain and the lightning. Woo! That was close. A little tough to hunt over water when it's pouring. We'll be back at them again tomorrow.
The next day, we ended up having some action despite the weather. We had a doe and a little 2x2 show up. I was trying to get a shot at it, and the problem was, Randy had told us when we set up, he said, Fred, on my trail cameras I set up, I get almost all the action from the right side of the water. I said, perfect, so we set up the Ameristep for the right side of the water. Well, so far, the first doe showed up on the left, this doe and 2x2 showed up on the left. When they show up on the left, we have to readjust. I've got chairs and Trent in the blind, so I spin around. I'm trying to lift my shooting window and get ready for a shot on the opposite side. Well, just when I think I'm gonna get a shot at this 2x2, he just kicks and jumps and decides to run off. Just the way deer hunting goes, I was close, but no cigar.
Hey, was that pretty exciting?
I thought we were gonna be bringing a buck home.
I thought we were gonna bring a buck home too. That was close.
Well, it's warm in the blind, and Trent's alternating between playing with ants, painting my face, painting his face, peeking out and looking at every deer that comes in. He's having a big time. And we haven't been in there that much longer after seeing the doe and the 2x2 when I peek out and there's a spike and a doe at the water. Well, now it's a fire drill again. I'm getting my chair, I'm handing it to Trent. Cole with the camera, he's trying to spin it around because again, they come in on the left-hand side, not where they're supposed to. The deer are not following the script. So we're trying to move the blind and I'm trying to pivot for a shot. They spook and they end up coming right past us. Well, now I'm on my knees instead of being on the chair. And when you hunt out of an Ameristep or any blind, what you want to do is try and keep it as dark as possible. So when I do that, I shrink the windows up to where I have just enough clearance to shoot. Well, I had adjusted the windows to where I could shoot from my chair. All of a sudden, I'm off my chair, I'm on my knees to shoot behind me, and the deer runs around in front of me. Now I'm on my knees, I draw back, and I make a novice mistake. I tell you, it's just one of those things, I get so excited, sometimes you don't look at everything. And when I put my pin on that deer, I didn't realize I didn't have enough clearance.
Hit the blind.
I had switched my height in the blind by going from the chair to my knees, and I ended up shooting my own Ameristep. My arrow flew off to the side, and I didn't come close to that deer.
Sorry, buddy. I thought I had him.
I thought you were gonna bring a deer home, but that's the way it goes. The way it goes.
That is the way it goes. God, look at this. Look at where I hit the blind right here. Look at where I cut it. My muzzy cut the blind right there, and it hit the carbon pole right there.
So it's our 5th day in the blind. Trent was beat, but he was excited to go again. How he was hopping up every morning, I don't know.
This is our 5th day in a hot Coues Deer blind in Arizona. There's a lot of grown men that can't sit in here 9 hours a day in this heat. He's crashed out right now on the floor of the blind sleeping, but he's quite the trooper. But what's awesome
awesome is we get to hang out together. We've been goofing off with Randy, hanging out at his house when we get back. He's loving the rope swing, but that's him curled up, passed out right now. Well, it wasn't too long before we saw our first deer. One came from where Randy thought they would. Who'd have thought? That's hunting. You never know what's gonna happen. But of course I knew I was gonna have to tease my buddy about that. But this little doe came in right past the blind. Absolutely beautiful to watch her because she walked within about 5, maybe 8 yards. That's the closest I've ever been to a Coues deer, and it was really neat to see that. Well, it's about 12:30, and I take a peek behind me in the blind, and I see a spike coming right down toward the water. Well, again, everything's crazy because that's not the side we thought they'd come in on. I'm folding up my chair, I'm handing it to my son Trent, he's holding the chair, I spin around, I lift the blind up on one side, I pull the blind down on the other side, and that's where mirror steps are awesome because if you keep your background black on one side, they can't pick you up. I slide the window open. At one point, because my hand's right near the opening, I think the deer sees me. It stops and looks in our direction. He made it hurt us moving around the blind, but he goes right back to drinking. I get my rangefinder, I get a range on this deer, I draw, I settle in, and I take my shot. I got him. Well, stay on him. We got him, bud. Good job. Oh my God. I can't believe how good you did sitting in the blind.
Dad, I saw the deer. I saw that.
Thank you. You did
I saw
good.
that light.
I had to hand you the chair because he came in this way. This is.
Dad, I saw the light. I saw the leg of your chair. And your leg. I drew it back. I didn't want it. You just screw up. So I took it off you. I took every piece of. I took every piece of the chair off you.
All right. Let's be real quiet. All right. We decided to play it safe and give that deer some time. Fortunately, even though my shot did not hit where I wanted, it was too far back on that deer. It was a fatal shot, and we recovered the buck. He was standing over here, but he's right there. He just went around the corner. We got him, buddy. Here is the absolutely beautiful Coues deer we just shot. Hit him too far back. Deer didn't go that far. We gave him some time before we came out to recover him, and worked out good, huh?
Yeah.
Is that beautiful little deer? Look at how tiny they are. See how tiny their little heads are?
Yeah.
And I mean, now granted, this is a small young Coues deer, but their ears, look at how huge their ears are.
And compared to the ones at home.
Right, that's why we have to sit so quiet in the blind. Makes sense now, huh? Because they have humongous ears. You can see it's in velvet. I've had some great luck with my buddy Randy here on these Coues deer hunts before. This worked out awesome. Had a great time. Fun being with my son Trent. We've just had all kinds of fun, haven't we?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? See how the velvet feel how soft that is on his antlers.
I know, I haven't seen one of these for a long time.
But we're gonna go ahead and get this deer cleaned out, get it back. I'm sure Randy will be excited for us, and we'll get this thing all squared away. Isn't that beautiful though?
Yeah.
What a pretty deer. I've been lucky enough to harvest 4 Coues deer, 2 with my recurve and 2 with a compound. The largest I've ever taken was with my recurve, but I'll tell you, it's hard to say which bow has the advantage. I think my recurve edges out the compound a little bit because it's quieter. It's easier to draw, it's a little smoother, but I'll tell you, no matter which weapon you decide to try and take a Coues deer with, it's a heck of a challenge.